Not the easiest trade to get into this morning, but a good old VWAP slap SFP and go. So that's pretty much what we had. For me, I was restarting my computer here, which is a pain in the ass if I'm being honest. But this is where the long should have been taken. We had multiple fake outs trying to push higher here, and really didn't manage to get going anywhere. To the downside, obviously, over the weekend pump, everybody feeling the FOMO. Naturally, you think we're going to get the Bart Simpson in the morning. You think you're going to come back down. The Bulls decided to fight for the continuation here. So, continuation it was, and continuation we have. Now, how do you take this trade setup here, right? So, in the morning, we obviously have chop. We have the SFP of the high, which we said we could short on the live stream back down, but I also said to take profit, and we were looking to come into the imbalance in here. However, I restarted my computer, came back, and we had a VWAP slap SFP. So if you don't know how I trade, I'm typically looking for liquidity hunts and continuations with strong confluence to the upside. So we had an SFP in here. We have the VWAP coming in here. We have the sweep of the low that came in here, and then we had a beautiful doji engulfing candle that pushed up in here. Now, obviously, you don't plan for this thing to go all the way to your macro retracement level, but it did, right? So, after all of that, right? So a nice move, slap and go. I was, like I said, I restarting the computer, pretty annoyed with that, but nonetheless, off to Valhalla we went. Okay, up only. And now we're seeing if we can get some continuation. However, we are in some major resistance. So before I continue, let's say good morning to the handsomest, beautifulest, cold brew drinking man in my life. What's going on, bro?
Not much, not much. That Cooper is still brewing in there. Not gonna be taking that after what you told me, man. It doesn't taste the same. It doesn't taste the same.
It doesn't taste the same? I
No.
was gonna prank you this morning and tell everybody to tell you that you had no volume, but I decided to be nice.
But thank you for that.
What does
That
your
drives me
shirt say?
crazy.
It says cold brew is gay.
I already have told that joke twice, so be aware. I've stole it from you.
That's okay. It works with anything, right? Do you know where it started?
How?
Do you know where I learned it from? It's rollerblading. So roller skating.
Yeah.
So whenever anyone's you always go, what's the hardest thing about rollerblading? And they go, what? And he's like, telling your parents you're gay, right? So but you can use it with anything, right?
Absolutely. Yes, to be honest, it does. And I mean, I need to tell you that I have migrated back to my espresso and orange juice, man. Excellent.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I got dark roast, coffee cream and sugar, brown sugar.
Look at that. Black, thick, and hot. That's how you like it.
Yes, hot, thick, hot, and long. Don't forget long.
Long.
Yes.
Love it, brother. How was your weekend? I saw you on your morning routine. I wasn't able to finish that up, but I see that you were waiting for another entry. Were you able to take it?
I didn't take it on Bitcoin. Took it on Solana on the continuation retest of the previous high. I was more clear on Solana. Quick $500. But for me, Ethereum looked the best, but Solana, if I can show the guys here and the gals, but looking at here, like for me, we knew we were pumping here, right? So we broke out of this. But we didn't have like a level really on Bitcoin. So if we look here, right, we have a clear high here to retest and then go. So I got long here, and I just took it up to the red line liquidity here. Like obviously I could have held it a little bit longer, but I didn't. You know, when something's pumping this aggressive, you take your money and you run. So for me, I got in at 209 and I closed at 210 basically, right? So from here up to here, just to come and grab the liquidity of these highs in here. I didn't want to be too greedy. So I jumped on the trend because it was like a breakout retest continuation OC special on the short-term timeframes. But the real tell was on Ethereum this morning. If we look in here, you look at the structure here. This is like perfect SFP in here of the low, and then claiming the range again, and then Valhalla, right? So very easy long setup. It's just which token do you want to take it on, right? And I think for me, when I look at, we were way overextended on ETH here. We were way overextended here on Bitcoin here. Like Bitcoin never had a retest opportunity within here. Like we'd pushed up and there's nothing really to look for in here. But then you go over to Solana and you can easily see that, it's pretty obvious retest after breaking that high, right? You actually had the move and then so for me, sometimes it's like, and VWAP's right there, right? So for me, it's not necessarily about always trading Bitcoin. It's just what looked best in that situation. When it's up only, you got to be a little bit more picky, in my opinion. But now we're getting rejected at our pink box, bro. My magical pink box is working its magic. So
nice.
Did you manage to long the bottom like I expect you to be able to?
To be honest, I wasn't. I actually, funny story, and I'm a little pissed at this because it actually had a breakout retest, as you mentioned. It was pretty simple. I made basically close a trade on Saturday, and that was basically about it. Anything else, I closed it on Friday on shorts. So I made my money and went on my day. And you know the story. I'm trying to remodel my kitchen, right? Finally, I know the architect actually doing some work, some main shop. And then I just, all right, the refrigerator is back in the kitchen.
I want to see when you finish.
Dude, you're gonna be so disappointed in me. I just quit. I told my wife, do you remember I promised I was gonna be making the cabinets? All right, I unpromised that right now. That was Sunday, man. Dude, I've been putting down center blocks because everything here is made out of like cement blocks. Everything's like, dude, it's a pain in the ass. All right, long story short. Run your
wires first.
Holy shit, man! I just decided to do all the wiring outside.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
you know what I mean.
I know. Holy shit! All right, so fair warning. I did not trade it through the weekend. All right, so I'm a little bit pissed, and this is what I wanted to talk about today. And let me share my screen really quickly, because that is going to be a lesson not just for myself, right? Mainly for myself, because you guys know that I'm a little bit of an emotional trader, right? So let me go for application. This is what I got in here. And let's get started with Bitcoin. All right, so let's go over Friday. And let me bring up something that I've been preaching about a long time ago, right? Which is, hey guys, I mean, now that you're on Chart Prime, go over to Discord, right? You're already on Discord, go to your Chart Prime setup in here, then go all the way down in here or look for additional content. All right, you click on additional content, and then you go important classes. In important classes, you go all the way up, and I know it's outdated, it's a little bit out of date, but everything else on that class, it's pure gold. Guys, I went all out in that class. Please watch it, and to prove it, let's go here. And I do remember last class telling you guys, hey, this is not gonna be or what you should had done, and I think that was Tuesday. This is going to be on what you are gonna be doing right now, all right? And remember, look at this. For example, at minute 114 or something like that, 114.45, all right? Right here we can see I'm explaining the reversals, all right? There's 3 kind of reversals, and I go ahead and explain and give you examples. Let's go check this out. Let me mute this. Let's play it, all right? Let me make it big, of course. And then look at this. For example, we have a coming back down or coming down, or a downtrend movement. We have a reversal flag. We range And that becomes, or get the F out of there, because that thing is going to keep going downwards, or position yourself at the top of the range because that thing is going to keep going lower. All right. So this is a flat pause of bearish continuation. We have the same the other way around, flat pause of bullish continuation. One key factor in this flat pauses is that we, like in 70-80% of the times, we have a blue flag right there on the reversal, right? Let me show you right here. We're coming down, right? We come back down. We have once again continuation. Then let's just wait for a second. There we go. We go down. We have the reversal. We range, and then we have one more movement to the downside. All right. So the important key, it is the reversal flag. And let me bring you back, guys, back in here. Look at where we have our reversal flag, right? And we call it out flat pause of bearish continuation. All right. Right here. Came back down. All right. And I was expecting another flat pause of bearish continuation. Not bullish, but bearish continuation. But we were missing something really extremely important, which was the reversal. Guys, pay attention to your indicators, because the indicators read mathematical things, right? So it's not a for granted, because this is a chances game, all right? It's basically you look for the possibilities of something, and then you aim at the higher chance for something to play it out, right? But in this case, we were missing a key factor, which was a reversal. What happens is, instead of becoming, this is what I bring up Wyckoff, my Mr. Wyckoff boy here. So if we come back down into this area, there it is, coming down, have that little range, V-shaped recovery, little range, and then we have a spring and an SOS zone, and then off we go, right? So right here seems like there's nothing like that, right? In fact, to be honest, throughout the weekend, and that's why I just looked away, I was expecting a sweep of the lows in here, a continuation downwards, double bottom, break of structure, coming back up, higher low, and then continuation upwards. I was expecting this, and I'm a little disappointed that this did not play it out, because that means that we are still pretty freaking fragile. All right, so I wanted to have a big fake out of this trend line, right? But at the end of it all, we did held that overall trend line, all right? And, well, we're still on the game. Not just on the game. Let me get rid of these purple lines for a second. We are still within a, and this is what I don't like it, all right? We're still within a both megaphone and triangle. Let me paint that triangle for you guys. Here, here, here. This is a symmetrical triangle. And now you're going to see why I hate this so much, that the fake out was not a liquidity grab, because, well, Alex, you know the drill. Not the drill, but you know that this is your favorite pattern, but that symmetrical triangle. What is the percentage of breaking?
It's fucking shit.
Exactly. It's like 50-50. Yes, it is 50-50. It's like, hey, this is just a freaking same answer to tell you, hey, I don't know, right? It's gonna break to whatever. So
flip a coin.
Yeah. Exactly. So, guys, we're still on the Russian roulette in here, all right? We're still on the Russian roulette. We are not safe already. I wanted to have that break of structure coming, have that little lowy here, basically confirming the megaphone, and then breaking back inside the pattern. That would have been, for me, the greatest pattern ever, because instead of making a symmetrical triangle, we would have been making this megaphone in here, right? And look at how that megaphone played out. Freaking fantastic. Pretty fantastic, right? So I was just like chilling, not chilling, actually. I was working, and I can say that because I'm from Mexico. I was working as Mexican.
It was siesta. That's exactly what it was.
No siesta. No siesta, no beer, bro. I mean, what kind of slavery this is? And, well, then I missed this long. Am I a little pissed? Yes, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little butthurt here. that I did not took that one because that was a pretty freaking easy area to trade. And as Alex mentioned, not in here, not while this is going up, because this is just a freaking candle going up to like meh things and then going back up. All right, we finally have broken through the dynamic reactor. Perfect. Here it comes. It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest my entry, and off we go to then get stopped at this area right here. Maybe, and just maybe, if the conditions are right. And what do I mean with conditions are right? When we are at the top here, having a diamond in here, maybe getting at reversal areas right here. My oscillator getting back up for then a low, and this is wrongly, I mean, this thing like this, creating a lower high here. All right. Those conditions at the top will signify rejection. All right. Still, and this is important, guys. Look at when we're saying this. All right. I'm going to be pinning this class for the future because we're talking about Pumptober now. And if you didn't know, October is my favorite month of the year. Not because I love Halloween, but I love Halloween. But because the food is the greatest, man. Out of here, I'm just gonna go and eat a pumpkin pie. That's it.
I love pumpkin pie.
Oh, I do too, bro. I just have it on my
Oh
fridge,
man.
and it's already half the way gone. So, pretty important. Pretty important. Here's the thing. If we come up in here, and then we could be making, and this is what I would like to see, a higher low. And then if we bounce up of here, we're going to have the greatest breakout ever. I don't even think that we're going to have a support. And that is because we need to get closer to all-time highs by the end of October or at mid of October. And that is for the retraction not to be that big of a deal, if that makes sense. All right. So, long story short, I'm not in a trade. Am I pissed at it? Yes. Did I trade this? No. What is going to be my next trade? Breakout retest. So, right here. So, that's what I got so far on Bitcoin. And let me get you through another asset because this is a lesson that we taught in here. Not only we taught it here, it needs to be on Hyperliquid. Did I close this thing up? No, you gotta be kidding me. Here it is. All right, here it is. Perfect. Got it right here. All right. This was where we left this out, right? It was in here, and my stop loss, it was higher, and I cannot change it. All right, whatever. Let me see if I can edit my stop loss, or you know what? Why not? Let's duplicate this. And this is why it's so important to have a managing system, right? A risk management. That's how it's called, right? My stop loss was at the dynamic reactor, and we have a two entries in here, guys. Please pay attention here and start scoping. Let me see. I see you ping me. Happy birthday month. Oh, thank you. You remember. Thank you, my friend. Yes, I'm from October. Thank you, my friend. Really appreciate it. Hyperliquid selling NFTs, almost 500,000. Love it. Nice. So here's the thing. Not paying attention to this, but look at that pretty breakout, retest, continuation upwards. Great. Just like a book, right? I was just on my kitchen doing stuff. I just did it over my phone. But this is what happens. I was trying to short Hyperliquid right here. I thought we were going downwards, but my setup was not complete. Right? So I was front running this. So what do you do when you're front running, when you don't have enough information? Either you don't do it, right? Or if you really must do it, you divide your capital. When you jump in here, it's you and yourself between against the whole market, but you still have some weapons to manage your risk. Many of those, and let me show you 4 of those. One is the leverage that you use. Second, the money allocation, how much money you place on that trade. Third, which takes me to the most important part, how and where you allocate that money. And fourth, where you place your stop loss. All right, place with those 4 assets, and you're gonna have a fantastic, phenomenal risk management system. Here's the thing. For me, one single entry equals 3%. All right, 3% of my wallet. So if the trade is just basically not perfect, but I still want to jump in, I debate this. Maybe instead of jumping with one full position and risking 3% of my wallet, I do 1/2 of a position. Perfect. I can still subdivide this in fourth. That's what I did. 1/4 of an entry right here, another fourth of an entry right there. You see that? And my stop loss needs to be accordingly. So what happens? I open on my trading here. We go down almost there. Look at that. And this is where you go, hey, we're going to get some profits. And then it rejects. All right. Hits my next entry. What happens in here? Onka, get the fuck out of here. Hey. This guy. Sorry. And then it hits this area right here. And it gets averaged up. All right. As it gets averaged up in here, look at here. I am back on profits. When it comes back down, I'm in profits. At the very first candle, I don't know what the hell is that being so annoying. Here's at the very first candle that you are on profits, you move your stop to entry. Not just in profit. For me, the rule is a full body and wick candle in the green, move your stop to entry. No questions. If you need to re-enter, you re-enter. But this is when it goes up, hits dynamic reactor, and we're on our way back down. So guys, right here, I lost zero, because I always set my stop to entry just to always win like $1, $2, $3, something like that, something almost insignificant, but that covers for the for that risk. All right. So right now we are out of that trade and the thing is bouncing back down. Right now we are on a uptrend. Here it is. And our next entry is going to be on the trend line. Let me lock that. Let's save it and add an alert to it. All right. And I'm going to be making and cloning this. And oh, I need to unlock it and make myself a channel of entry like that. All right. Still also have an alert, and this is gonna be my next possible scenario for re-entry. Echo Power says, OC, entry equals 3% of my wallet. Trade amount or stop loss amount. What trade amount? And my stop loss, I don't measure it as long because if I let me explain that really quickly. Let's go to a cleaner asset. Like, oh, by the way, I told you that I was going to be trading grass. That play actually played out pretty good. Long grass, and it was auto closed. But here, let's go to Litecoin. I wanted to look at altcoins. All right. So Litecoin, sorry. Let's clear this up. Let me give you an example in here when if we fail a trade. All right. So 3% of my wallet. All right. So let's just say that I have $1,000 of a wallet. My 3% is gonna be $30, right? So $30. Let's just call it. Let's just say that I think we're gonna bounce up in here. All right. So let's go for a long position. And, oh yeah, long position. And it's on purpose on a loss, so we can manage this. And my stop loss, where should my stop loss be? I don't use a percentage ratio, right? But I do look like, for example, previous support, perfect. So it makes sense to be right here and then add myself a little bit of a wiggle room. If my 3% is in here, all right, how much of that 3% am I risking? The full 3%. So it's not that the 3% is in here. This is important because if you're asking me, Echo Power, if it's a stop loss amount, that means one of two things. You're making extra calculations that I don't do, or you're using cross. I don't use cross. I have had so many bad experiences with cross, either slippage, either dude, whatever, you name it. Every single time that I use cross, the markets just conspire against whatever. Internet fails, light goes out, slippage, broker overload. Dude, you name it. I don't know, but it's just been not for me using cross. All right. So If I get, depending, then I adjust my leverage. Here's the thing. My leverage, the amount of X that I use for myself, and this is the calculation that I do, all right? It is at least twice in here. How do I measure that? Let's clone this. And then I make sure that my liquidation price, it is in this case somewhere around 107. Okay. So whatever X I'm using, it's going to be 107 and my stop loss once I have set my stop loss, if that makes sense. So I'm not only fixing my stop loss, but then adjusting my leverage. So my this is not a liquidation, but it's a stop, a partial of my profits. Okay. So could I be maybe crippling my gains? Yes, but this has worked for me very, very nicely. All right. So that is to answer that question, if that makes sense. Let me then give you or try to give you another perspective on how to use a stop loss. And to be honest, I think it is a genius way to use it. And for that, Alex, how do you use your leverage?
I think it's risky. But like the way I mean, the thing is, what OC does is he's always managing his risk, right? He's always saying stop loss to entry, always, rules based, always, because he knows why does OC do this? Because he knows he's an emotional trader. He tells you guys he's an emotional trader. So if he's going to be a trader, he has to cater to his personality and the way he thinks, right? So, and the way he trades, right? So like he's not like me where I'm like, in and out, quick, done, because that's me. I can't. It feels like the way OC trades. I feel like I've turned, a year old extra. Like I've just aged. But he's always managing risk. He's always taking setups based on statistics, based on probabilities, right? Like OC can say, "Oh, look, Bitcoin golden pocket retracement level." Oh, OC's okay to wait here for a flip of the ribbon. Me, no way, right? I am like, I'm short here. I'm TP1 already. But it's a different style, right? And that's
Right.
what you must understand too. Like, one thing that I always teach and what I always say is like when you come to the charts and you're new or you're in your first whatever 6 months to 2 years, like I would say you must, if you want to be focused, right? So you want to take your idea and you want to take all the big ideas and you want to focus in on that one idea. Okay? For me, it was understanding that who I am, I want to be I wanted to come to the charts. I wanted to spend no more than 4 hours a day. I wanted to come in, I wanted to take 3 trades, and I wanted to be done. And I do not want to hold anything overnight. That's me. I knew this 3 years ago. So what did I do? I learned how to trade like that. So for me, I focused on shorter term time frames, small moves, and that doesn't mean that, I won't get long in here and I'll hit TP2 and I'll have a runner going and that'll turn into a much bigger trade. Okay, but it means I know who I am and I know how I'm trying to trade, right? When we get into the higher term time frames and we're looking at, like this right here, this to me is a short into this order block right here. Like that's the first thing that I think about. Right? That's just me. That is like a fart in the wind for OC. That is 0.5%, right? So understanding your personality, your time frame, your situation in life, right? Are you full-time working, right? Are you wife and kids and you're busy, right? So like catering around that is going to be important. For me, I was lucky I had no kids and I had my wife work from home. So I would come home from construction and I would dedicate 2 to 3 hours after dinner every night to learn how to trade. That's how I started. And I would just trade London session when I lived in Australia. And I lost a lot and I won a lot and I lost a lot and I figured it out for myself. But over time, I knew what I was trying to become and what I was trying to do with the market. And by doing that, over time, with risk management and strategy, I was able to get profitable. Then I was able to compound an account, right? And then turn that account into a full-time job, right? So it takes time, but being focused on that, what you want to do. Do you want to take a swing trade and chill for a week? Do you want to take multiple trades throughout the day? Do you want to maybe take 2 or 3 trades a week? Do you want to intraday trade? Do you want to take 1 trade a day? Right? Like it's kind of defining that and then building your strategy around that, right? Building your time frames around that, which is very important. Because time is the hardest thing in trading. So you must always try to be like catering to your personality, but to like your goals in this. Set some goals, set some targets, like allow yourself to succeed. Don't restrain yourself, right? For me, obviously I have a community, so I mean, we take lots of swing trades. I know how to set up a swing trade. Do I have the patience to stay in that swing trade? Not necessarily, but I know how to set them up, right? Because it's a fractal. Everything is a fractal in trading. The 3 minutes, the same as the 15 minute, is the same as the hour, is the same as the 4 hour, right? So the only difference is time, right? Is time. So if I can take the same trade setup with the same edge, with the same idea, even over the weekend, we managed to take a SUI trade, and this was an hourly time frame setup, right? Look how long it took to play, but it played out perfectly, right? And draw down initially, and then obviously up we went, perfect take profit. But that doesn't happen unless I know what am I looking for here. So what do I have here? I have volume. I have a Fibonacci golden pocket 786 level. I also have liquidity in this low, so I want to include this low, right? Where am I protecting my risk? Where am I wrong? If price comes against me, where am I wrong, right? I know I'm wrong if we start to close below these lows. What do? I give myself a little bit of wiggle room just in case we come down here and then bounce. I have a nice trend line, right? So it's that setup. It's the fact that I got double bottom here. I got bullish divergence in here. I'm looking for this thing to push up. I'm very overextended. Where my take profit is, I'm looking to come and grab this liquidity. Where's my resistance? These lows. Guess where my take profit is, right? So it's putting it all together, right? Take profit 1, take profit 2, full TP, right? But it's putting that idea into one, understanding what am I looking for? I'm looking for a bounce because we have a market structure shift here. So break a structure here, right? Break a structure. So I'm looking for a higher low, come and grab this liquidity in here and go up over the weekend, right? Then from that area, I'm looking for the bounce. I'm looking to protect myself below these lows, looking for a continuation, and I'm looking to come and grab 1, liquidity here, 2, liquidity above these highs, retesting these lows, and the final take profit is coming into here. So that's a full trade setup, but there's a lot of thinking behind it, and it takes time to plan that trade, right? But it can be done, and it's executed with the proper risk management, okay, and it's understanding we're looking for a bounce. It's like putting it all together. It's not an easy thing, but I can show you an example. I think OC was talking about hype. So if we're here on hype, I have some support and resistance here. Okay, I've been buying hype here. So what do I have first and foremost? I have uptrending momentum, right? So I'm making higher highs and higher lows, right? I have an inverse head and shoulders in here, right? So I can see that. I have a perfect OC breakout retest continuation trade here possibly, right? I have a target. If I take the head and that, I have a target. Oh, that kind of matches up nice with 51.8 here, right? So you see how I'm building this idea? Okay, so now I got a head and shoulders breakout retest. Does this look like it's going to continue? No, lower high, right? So where should I be looking to set the trap? Okay, I got a key level of support here, so I'm interested in coming down here. I have momentum coming down here. I go swing low to swing high. Let's see what I have in here, right? I have an imbalance in here, so let's extend this a little bit higher here, accommodate that. Fair value gaps on the way up. Yeah, okay, money flow point of control. I might want to include that here. So if I'm looking for a continuation trade because I've changed structure on here on hype and it's quite a bullish token, I'd be looking to enter here, stop loss below the low, and target up to that $51 here. Is that a fair trade? Yeah. Is it going to play out? I don't know. I'll make the decision when price gets into this area. I might be able to enter a little bit lower, right? Which would reduce my risk and increase my win rate, right? But taking that idea, breaking it down, understanding where my key levels are, setting a trap. So like, okay, price can come into this area. If it comes into this area and I get like a double bottom or a higher low or a higher high, something like that, I'm in. I protect my risk. I risk 1%, high probability trade setup. Maybe I'm getting a nice bullish divergence on my oscillator, right? Maybe there's a quantum reactor support in here, right? So there's a whole bunch of things that allow me to set up that trap, right? And then what do I do? So now that I've planned that trade, right? I've planned that trade and I can go back, right? What do? I go in here, I get rid of this stuff. I put a ray here, I put an alert, and then I go and pet my dog. That's it, right? I don't need to be always in a trade. My live stream this morning, I didn't even take a trade. One, my internet was dodgy. I had to restart the stream. There was 2 trade setups that I wanted to take, but first my internet was effed up. Second, I was starting the stream back up, so it didn't work. So I was like just a bit too late to take that trade with confidence because I wasn't looking at the charts. And then I managed after the stream to take a continuation trade on Solana, right? So like there's always going to be more trades. It's just the patience is going to pay you over time, right? Like what am I going to do with Bitcoin right now? We've hit a golden pocket. We're overextended to the upside. We've swept this high, golden pocket sweep, right? Macro golden pocket sweep, right? So if I go swing high to swing low, swing high to swing low, macro golden pocket sweep. I don't know exactly where this is, right? And pink box in here. So we're looking for this thing to get rejected. Liquidity in the highs, sweep. Can we come a little bit higher? Yes. Does it look like it's gonna? No. Are we way overextended right now? Absolutely. Have we Bart Simpson reversed? Yes. Right. So what should I be looking for? I should be looking for pullbacks, right? I should be looking for this thing to come back into key areas. Maybe the orb. I really like this order block in here, right? So for me, I'm not pressing buy up here, right? We got a nice order block here, the open range breakout up here. I'm looking here, right? We'll see what it does. If it comes back into here and we get like some sort of bottoming structure in here and a higher high, higher low, I can jump on that. Stop loss below the low, continuation up to the top of the golden pocket, right? But I'm not everybody in here FOMO long. Guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna wreck them, right? So just patience. Because if you're not patient, what will happen is that you'll win, and then boom, you'll get wrecked. Okay? And we don't want our accounts to look like this. Okay? That's where I live. I live in the mountains. We don't want it to look like this. We want it to look like Scotland, nice and rolling hills, beautiful on the way up here. Okay? Okay. You want to be able to have basically 100 losses. That's why you risk 1%. Okay? You want to be able to have 100 losses and still be able to put on your 1% and take trades. That's why we risk 1%. And I mean, if you're swing trading like OC and you're taking bigger trades, you can risk 3% because maybe you're only taking 4 trades a week or something like that, right? It's important to understand that. The worst thing, when I was new, the worst thing that I would do is I would win, and then I would take a hefty loss. Like a big loss, like 3, 4, 5%. And all of that work over all that time, and I would say, if only I just let it hit my stop loss. If only I let it hit my stop loss, right? And I would move this down a little bit, and I move it down a little bit, and guess what? Sometimes it would come back out, and I'd be like, oh, thank God, oh, thank God, oh, thank God, right? And then that, bam, then it gets hit, right? Then it gets hit, or I move it even more, and then it gets hit, and my account looks like this. And I'm right back to like last month, right? That's the worst feeling. And you will do this over and over again until you learn how to be a good trader and take it in the teeth. Because if you don't understand what we're doing here, is we're taking high probability trade setups. We're trying to take a 60 to 80% chance of winning, which means we're going to lose minimum 20% of the time, guys. Remember, it means we're going to lose. You need to accept this. Otherwise, you'll fail. You'll be like 90% of everyone else. You will not succeed. Okay? I showed you guys my account last week, right? $300 loss, $300 loss, $500 win, $600 win, $300 loss, $300 loss, $300 loss, $1,000 win, $1,500 win. Never ever, and guys, it's 0. I'm lucky, but that's only 0.3% of my trading account. Okay, per trade. Okay, because when I'm risking like $1,000, I get emotional. So I'm working on it too, right? I would love to risk $1,000 per trade. I'm not there yet. I do it at least like 3 or 4 times a week to kind of get used to it. But I grew up poor, man. Throwing $1,000 down the well, to me, it's like a kick in the balls, man. So it's my mindset. I gotta get used to it too, right? But at the end of the day, I take my lumps too, right? But I mean, I've had 2 $10,000 weeks in a row the last 2.
Nice. Did we got Alex
Was
frozen?
this low,
Oh, maybe on my end. Sorry.
right? If this was my trade setup this morning and my invalidation was this low and I got stopped out here, that's my invalidation. That means I need to work on my strategy, right? But I'm still taking that loss. That's fine. Okay. That's enough out of me. I've gone long now. You guys are spoiled. I got to go and teach again.
Absolutely. It's already time. Alex, you're running late for your class, if I'm not mistaken. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Sorry for the rush. We need to go. And, well, as always, see you guys tomorrow.
Take care, everybody.